Hey Dale,
What?
two fish were in a tank. One said to the other, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
Terrible.
Oh, hey Dale,
What?
what's green and bad for your teeth?
I don't know, Sarah. What is green and bad for your teeth?
Ribbot.
I give up with you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlebots, welcome back to the Shuntcast. We are here to review episode 4. We only have one guest this week because I'm not a guest, but my robot's on it, and it all got terribly confusing. So we're just having the one guest this week. And some say that this man can catch fish with his tongue, and that his robot creates miniature black holes every time it sneezes. All we know, it's Captain Icky Fish himself, Matt Spurk!
Yay.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
We're good, thank you.
Very
Matt,
good.
how are you doing?
We're doing wonderful. We're celebrating Treason Day today, so it's exciting over here.
We actually did record initially this Shuntcast earlier on in the week, but due to audio cock-ups, shall we say, we've had to re-record. So we're recording today on Captain Shredderator Day, or Independence Day, as the Americans like to call it. So happy Captain Shredderator Day, Matt.
Thank you very much. We're going to make little Shredderator cookies later today and leave them out for Captain Shredderator tonight when he visits the house and comes down the chimney, so it'll be very good.
Oh, that is so wholesome. Right, so let's get straight into the fight. First off, Floorgate. It's Duck versus Cobalt. Matt, did you enjoy Floorgate?
Um, I like this fight. It was one of those, like, I saw this one live. I was watching it backstage, and we're seeing this fight, and it was like, Duck was just getting owned, and then all of a sudden, Cobalt got hung up on the floor, and it was like, no, 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 he didn't do that. No, no, it's not going to end like that. And it was just this huge comeback victory for Duck. So, it was a big shocker.
Quackers. We're getting in all the dad jokes for you, Matt. Dale,
Thank you.
Dale, you must have enjoyed this fight. Duck went flying.
Yeah, I mean, if you like good hits, then it's a good fight. If you like, dodgy decisions at the end, probably not for you if you're a fan of Cobalt.
No.
But yeah, it's a good fight though. Yeah.
One thing
Enjoyed
I will say about this fight, though, is there are very few robots who could hit Duck like that and still have their weapon working hit after hit. And likewise, there are very few robots besides Duck who could take that kind of punishment from Cobalt and still be going at the end. So, although it had a kind of crummy end to the fight, this fight was an amazing show off of both of these robots' capabilities, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Unfortunately, Bombshell versus Rotator really didn't show us the true capabilities of both of these robots, which was a little disappointing. I mean, nice win for Rotator. Bombshell was a bit sad again, really, wasn't it, Dale?
It was, yeah. It was not much to say about it, really. It was just, it happened. But yeah, pretty good overall.
Yeah, I was excited to see Rotator kind of come back after, it had a good performance against Sawblaze, but it wasn't super strong. And so for Rotator to kind of come back, after their robot, they destroyed their robot in testing just a couple days before they flew out the BattleBots. And so, to get the robot kind of, they were working in the pits frantically from the time they got there until their match, trying to get it tuned up and working. So this was a great fight for them to get the victory and kind of start to show that they're a serious contender again this year.
This is very true. And yeah, unfortunately, it is sad because we'd like to see both of these robots working at full capacity and giving us a great show. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for this fight. The next fight, nobody really paid much attention to this next fight.
Right, move on.
Okay, we'll play a little game, actually. Matt, you and I can swap roles. So you're now the Shuntposting queen, hosting the Shuntcast. You can ask me questions about this fight.
All right, very good. All right, so Sarah, walk us through this match. What are you feeling when you found out you were matched up against Rainbow?
My very initial reaction was to roll my eyes because I kind of thought it was typical to put the pink up against the purple. Then on the same hand, I kind of appreciated the entertainment value of it. And the way I saw it was they have a lot of weapon reliability issues that, to my chagrin, did not happen in the initial stages of that fight. But so I wouldn't say we were confident going into that fight, but I wouldn't say we were bricking it either. And I figured this fight's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to result in our plastic getting totally smashed up by this colourful spinner, or their weapon's going to balk, and hopefully we get some good bonks in, push them around, push them into the hazards. So part of that plan went well. The smashing up the plastic went well. The bar spinner kind of rode up the wedge and right into the sacrificial plastic, which is that's kind of what we wanted. We were a little upset about the eyes, and it was horrific. I mean, the audience reaction to this fight was amazing. People were torn between being out of their seats in awe of the destruction or covering their eyes in horror at it, which was lovely.
It
Yeah,
did
so
get kind of grotesque there for a little bit. It looked
was.
a little bit nasty.
It was
I'm
like
still sad.
Nelly the meth years almost. um, but yeah, so yeah, the plastic got obliterated, but that's why it was plastic. It was meant to be obliterated. Unfortunately, a battery cable got chopped off, and that's why we stopped moving. Our weapon, despite what the editors will have you believe, was working absolutely fine. It worked in the showboating. It worked throughout the match. It was definitely working at the end of the fight because when we first stopped moving, knowing that the floor was crap, I said to Gus, fire the hammer, because we thought maybe we were stuck on a lip or a seam or something. And the momentum of our hammer is pretty strong, so we figured fire that a couple of times, and if we're stuck on something, it'll jiggle us free. But then we fired it like 3 or 4 times, and we still weren't moving, and so obviously got counted out, and that was that. And yeah, when we first got outside, oh god, it looked so bad. Gus was just kind of shaking his head, going, "Oh my god, I think it's terminal." And then Tom and Rory from Monsoon wander over, and they're just super chill. They're like, it's fine, don't worry. Sort of why Archie did worse to us. You'll fix it up fine. So we calmed down, went back to the pits, had a proper look, and it turned out, yeah, all we'd lost internally was a battery lead. The weapon was still working. The wedge did have a crack in it. That got welded up. Got some new plastic. Spent several hours making new heads, because god, those heads take ages to make, because we do it with heat guns. The plastic is too large to fit into any normal sized oven and bend over a mold. So we were sat there like clamping it down and then using heat guns to bend it over into those dome shapes. That took a lot of time, but yeah, all in all, that fight cost us $90 and some spectacular TV.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. I like this fight just from the this was the fight in the episode that brought all the damage and the carnage. I felt this episode was probably the most complete episode of the season thus far. You had the huge upsets, and this was the gourmet damage, and you had the great comeback with Duck. I just it was a really complete episode, I thought.
I think if anybody was watching this as their first episode of BattleBots, it would be fair to say they'd be a return watcher, I think.
I agree with that. Yep, very much. I think this fight fulfilled the bloodlust. So thank you, Sarah, for bringing that.
I mean, I'm here to entertain, and we did that, so I'll take that home.
Absolutely, and it was a great bot. It was a great fight. That's definitely one to hang your hat on and be proud of.
Oh yeah. And the other thing, I think people forget the part of the fun of the sport actually is getting back in the pits and making repairs. And I find that getting back into the arena when you've had to make a creative repair is infinitely more satisfying than just being the builder who's loaded with loads of money and just gets straight on the phone to McMaster and goes, "Oh yes, get me 10 tons more of aluminium, please." Not that anybody literally did that, but you get what I mean, Matt. It's more fun to make creative repairs than just to phone up and go, "Oh yes, get me this new £1 million part straight away."
Right.
But yeah. So Dale, dare I ask you what you thought of this fight?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm too sad. No, it was all
Days
right,
gone
but
by.
yeah, it would have been nice to see Nelly win.
Yeah. So remember when my first fight was, I went in the arena and 10 seconds in blew a speed controller and was gimping around the arena for the rest of the match, and
Yeah.
ended up losing to Sharko and Deviled Egg in the first match. And that fight cost me, even though outwardly I had zero damage, it ended up costing me about $700. Actually, it was
Wow.
900 because it was 700 on one motor from the Deviled Egg hit, and gearbox blew up, and then the $200 for the speed controller on the other side. So my first fight, nowhere near as entertaining and considerably more expensive.
Fair enough. I'm going to put you back in the role of guest now. So
Oh man,
thank
but
you
I
for.
was liking hosting this.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, we were going to take
sorry.
over next week now. Oh well.
Yeah, next week Matt's going to take over from Dale because Dale doesn't talk enough. Oh, I'm not. So Quantum versus Lockjaw. I have one thing to ask the Cooper brothers about this, and it's have you got a Shremek?
No.
I mean, this win it was pretty clinical for Donald Hudson, really, and it's a bit sad because there's been so much Quantum hype, and this fight did not show off Quantum's full abilities, really. From I think looking, just looking at it from a fan perspective, there's this new Crusher that the producers have clearly, got a thing for. I mean, the amount of excerpts on Quantum this episode, it was like, I love you, but can you stop sucking this robot's dick now? Like, please. I'm sorry, that was rude. It's the Shuntcast, we're allowed. But yeah, and considering all that hype they built up for that fight, it was over quite quickly, really, wasn't it? I wanted to see Quantum get at least one good bite on Lockjaw.
Yeah, I think so. Again, Floorgate, the opening box rush from Quantum, his wedge got hung up on there, and that allowed Donald to get up to speed. And then you also saw the front forks on Lockjaw super low to the ground, so he was able to get under Quantum, and with a Crusher, low man, you got to be low man. You can't lose that low wedge battle. And unfortunately for Quantum, he was not low enough.
I liked it, to be fair, because it's nice to see after the first fight with Quantum is to see like they're not just like invincible kind of thing. It's nice to see they've got like a weakness. I know it's only the floor, to be fair, but for now it's it's like to see a weakness in like such a strong looking machine. It's like I say, yeah, just to be. It's not like a dominant fight every time. There is a way to beat a robot every time, so it's not a way to guarantee. So it's always nice to see that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and conversely, it's nice to see Lockjaw kind of bounce back from getting basically dominated against Tombstone.
Having said that, I think losing to Tombstone is still a noble loss.
Correct. Yes.
So we'll move on to Icky Fish versus the Dark Bonker. The funniest thing I found about this fight was the crazy hammer action from Blacksmith. Like, did you notice that, Matt? That it was kind of wiggling out of your jaw every time you got a bite.
Yeah, so we had a lot of problems with Blacksmith. We knew going in the Blacksmith was so tall, we had to switch to our shorter teeth, and they mentioned that on the show. And the shorter teeth just don't allow the robot to get as far into the mouth before they start engaging on the other parts of the frame. And I think
That's what
Blacksmith. I think Blacksmith also learned from their fight against Quantum and just realized that as soon as they got in the mouth, if they just started firing the hammer like crazy, they would get back out. I had a fan actually talk to me and tell me that he counted 43 swings from Blacksmith's hammer in that fight.
This was a real back and forth fight for you guys. Blacksmith was kind of dominating to begin with, and then you were really coming back towards the end. And actually, I really don't envy the judges the decision for this one. I think I would have been happy whichever one they gave it to. I would have been happy if you'd got it, and I'm happy that Blacksmith got it. It was so close.
Yeah, I agree with the decision. I thought in the moment that we had lost, he dominated the first exactly half of the fight. And then at the halfway point, we started turning it around.
Do you know what animal did give us a good show though? And that is Ribot!
Yes.
Endgame croaked.
Terrible.
I know. Well, Matt's on the show. I have to get all the dad jokes out.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. They're fantastic. Keep it up.
I saw on Reddit that episode predictability for this episode was its absolute lowest. And in particular, this fight had the lowest predictability rating, as in, nobody expected Ribot to put Endgame in its place quite in the way it did. And it was glorious.
Yeah, this was one where we knew that Ribot had a lot going on. Because we got to see all the damage firsthand up close and had to repair it. And I think we were kind of alone in that kind of opinion of Ribot, especially after seeing our match where we kind of were able to push him around pretty well. But they said, I talked to the team after the endgame match, and they said they were only at about 60% for our fight.
Oh, wow.
They just wanted to conserve speed on the weapon, and they just weren't sure that they wanted to keep the spinning and not damage anything. They're more concerned about breaking themselves than breaking us. And they said they turned it up to 100 for the end game fight, and I'm glad they did because they were really able to bring it in that match. And you could see from some of those shots that they landed on end game, they were just monster hits.
This is true. Dale, did you enjoy this one?
I totally enjoyed it. No, it's good. Yeah, it was. It's a shame about Endgame because they don't seem to be as destructive as they used to be the last season. They all went downhill quickly, and they haven't really come back from that yet.
So on to the main event, Sawblaze versus Tombstone. I have to say, another great back and forth fight because this fight started off with some amazing driving from Jamieson Go. I love the bit where it pans to Ray, and Ray's face actually genuinely looks worried for a moment there. And I mean, heck, so would I be if Jamieson's robot was driving at me the way he was at the time. Jamieson is a formidable driver, and his robot's pretty tough. And I would be worried at that point. But then they got separated, and Tombstone got that hit on the wheel, and then Sawblaze started to limp, and it eventually went in the favor of Tombstone. And then we had Tombstone beating up the floor. Now, I have a conspiracy theory with this, so tinfoil hats at the ready, everybody. Last season, Ray hit the floor once and said sorry, right? On this fight alone, he must have twatted the floor about 20 times and didn't once apologize. So me thinks Ray was trying to tell the producers something like, hey guys, if you won't get a new floor, I'm gonna make you get a new floor. So that's my tinfoil hat contribution. But this was a fantastic performance from both robots, though, wasn't it, Dale?
It was indeed, yes. Obviously, every time you see Tombstone, you're going to get something fun to watch. And Sawblade is weirdly just as fun to watch in a different way, if you get what I mean. But yeah, no, it's a good fight, yeah. Could have gone either way, and unfortunately for Jamieson, it went for Ray.
But overall, I mean, it was a great fight. I think both competitors walked away from that feeling that they were on the ropes. And even when Jamieson went down a tire, you saw he was still trying to attack. So he was still trying to be aggressive, crab walking over to Tombstone. And
I think my favorite thing about this fight, besides the destruction of the floor, is the fact that I know Tombstone didn't win the Giant Nut last year, but Tombstone is kind of like, it has this air of undefeatable about it. Tombstone is like one of the ones to beat, and there's not a lot of people who can beat Tombstone. And just the fact that actually in the first bit of that match, Jamieson had me convinced that actually he could beat Tombstone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was genuinely believable. Like he was straight out of the box, he was straight at it. And he was pushing Ray around, and yeah, I think for a lot of viewers, that was a moment of sitting on the edge of your seat going, holy crap, Jameson might pull this off, you know? And I know that he didn't in the end, but Christ, what a valiant effort it was, though.
Absolutely. Yep.
Matt, how many bananas out of 10 would you give this episode?
I give this one a 10 out of 10. I thought this was one of the, like I said, one of the more complete episodes of the season. Our fight with the judge's decision, the huge upset with Ribot, the comeback victory with Duck, the gourmet damage, and the Rainbow Nelly fight. Sorry, guys. But that was a great fight, you know. And then the title fight was one where you were kind of on your edge of the seat, where you thought maybe the champ, being, you know, Tombstone and this huge weapon, was going to get upset by, you know, Jameson. So I really liked this episode, so I'm going to give it 10 out of 10.
I mean, I have to agree with you, but also, you know, it had Nelly in it, so for me, that's an automatic 10 out of 10. What about you, Dale?
I'm going to go with 9 out of 10 because I wanted Nelly to win. I'm too salty about it.
Aww. Hey, Matt, how does Kraken make important decisions?
I don't know.
It must choose wisely.
Oh dear.
So, on to the Shunt Posting Awards. We start off as usual with the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award. We have 3 nominations for this. First up, we have Cobalt giving Duck air miles, Blacksmith booping Kraken's snoot, or Tombstone versus the floor. Matt, I'll come to you first. Who would you like to cast your vote for?
Well, it definitely isn't Blacksmith. So I'm going to vote for the Cobalt giving Duck air miles. I thought some of those hits were just unbelievable.
Yeah, I've got to go with Cobalt as well, because if you knock the head off a duck, well, I don't even know how to end that one.
They'll send him the bill. And oh dear, no one gives a duck about my jokes. So on that note, I'll give it to Cobalt as well. So congratulations, Cobalt! Yay. You win the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award for yeeting duck. So on to the Salt Powered Robot Award. We of course have Floorgate. Cobalt getting stuck on the floor. We have Nelly going on a blind date with Chris. Nelly, can you see me? And Endgame losing to Ribot, because that was such an upset. So Dale, what do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I'm going to go with Nelly.
Dale is very salty about Nelly. Matt, what about you?
See, I wouldn't be salty about the Nelly one. The bot worked. It took a lot of damage and you know, just lost a battery. That was a good first performance, I think. That was something respectable.
Yeah, but she should win every time.
Fair enough. You can't win all of them in your first season. You got to build up to it. You got to reach a crescendo, you know. So the Cobalt losing is huge, just because you know, they got stuck on the floor, but I don't want to give them all the awards. I don't want their heads getting too big, you know. I don't want them getting the trifecta, the triple crown of shunt casting votes. So I'm going to go Ribot Endgame.
I don't want to vote for myself for the Salt Power Robot Award, because I'm not salty about this fight either. I thought it was freaking hilarious. I'll be honest with you. I think I will side with Matt and give it to Endgame losing to Ribot. So congratulations, Endgame.
Yay.
You won the Salt Powered Robot Award for episode 4 because you lost to a frog.
Yes.
So the Shunty McShuntpost Award. We have Kraken getting booped on the snoot, Duck's air miles, Cobalt versus the floor, and of course Nelly. I would like to say that we normally judge this by, or try to judge it by, which one has the most memes made about them. But this would be somewhat unfair, because the volume of Nelly memes at the moment is extraordinary. So, I don't know. Matt, who would you like to give the Shunty McShuntpost Award to?
I'm gonna give it to Nelly. Some of the memes that I have seen have on the Shunt posting site have been hysterical. I've been dying. Um, so that cheers to everyone that's made those memes. Fantastic, so good. Keep it up. More Nelly memes in the future.
Dale, do I need to ask you?
Probably not, but yeah, I'd have to go with Nelly. I mean, even just the ones I haven't made myself have been quite funny, so I can't argue.
Well, even if I voted for somebody else, that's 2 to Nelly, so Nelly would win. So I might as well make it unanimous. I can't congratulate myself. Dale, you're gonna have to do it.
All right, congratulations to Nelly for the Shanty McShunt Post Award.
Yay!
Yay! Runner up for Cobalt there, and the floor memes, the floor gate memes have been hysterical as well. But yeah, some of the Nelly ones have just been hysterical, and you guys are taking them fantastic as well. I know it's hard when you lose your first fight, that
Most
all
of
the
them have been
haters come.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Although my favorite thing to happen so far, right, is some random Uber troll on the on Facebook dug up the months old BattleBots post about our GoFundMe. I mean, literally, it's a months old post. Dude would have had to go scrolling for it, and they went scrolling for it just to comment on it and say Nelly shit, right? Which is fine. Not everybody has to like my robot. The funniest thing about it, though, it wasn't how this guy got owned in the comments, because a bunch of Roboteers came to Nelly's defense, and fans as well, and this guy got absolutely wrecked in the comments. But the best thing about it was that in reviving the post about my GoFundMe campaign, we ended up getting a donation to the GoFundMe campaign. And I thought, if that's not karma for being an Uber troll, what fucking is?
yeah, that's fantastic. That is fantastic.
On to the member questions, Matt. We apologise for these in advance. We don't write them, honest. They're sent in by the members. We just ask them. So I'm going to let Dale kick off this section.
Matt, not a question, but a request. Matt and Sarah, do the Kraken rap.
Oh man, the Kraken rap. So I wrote a rap song. It is a white boy rap. I apologize for that. All right,
Do it, man.
This is a top 40, I think, coming up. Get ready. We're repping CE bots. You better learn the name, cause once you've seen the Kraken, you'll never be the same. We got them team cups and them matching shirts. We got them transmitters. They pump out gigahertz. You got them old teams, but we got pneumatics. We're like a transmission. Our wins are automatic. When it comes to new designs, yeah, we're never slacking. We'll have the whole crowd shout, release the Kraken. You want the best show? You need to pick us. We'll bring a shiny bot. Turn them fools to rust.
Woo!
There you go. That's a top 40 banger right there.
My favourite line on that is transmitter. I love that. Oh, there we go. Matt, would Kraken like to see my manager?
Yeah. Yes, she would. Yes, she would. This is based on Gus's meme, right?
Yes, I presume so. I have to admit, I love that meme.
Yes. It's hilarious. At first, I was like, "What? What? Oh, yeah."
Oh dear.
Was good. Anyway, next question. When BattleBots?
When BattleBots? I think you're gonna have to ask Ben when BattleBots. Should be soon, right?
Monsoon?
Monsoon, yes.
Yes.
Why did you choose Icky Fish instead of the glorious Pachyderm Master Race?
Well, see, that's not fair because I joined in season 3, and in season 4 was when all the Pachyderm uprising started. So I had already chosen Icky Fish with Sharko, and then I've been enlightened with the Pachyderm power this season.
Do you know what needs to happen? We need to fight, Matt. It needs Kraken versus Nelly, and that'll settle this.
Absolutely.
I'll fight you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll fight you. You guys are super tall. I might have to get a jaw extension or something put on Kraken if we're gonna fight you.
Oh, you meant Nelly? I thought you meant Sarah. No, Sarah's not tall at all.
I could probably fit in Kraken's mouth.
Yes.
That needs to happen, please. Anyway, Matt, does Kraken bitey or nom nom?
Ooh. See, these are those deep philosophical questions that I enjoy getting from Shuntposting. I always think of Kraken as a bitey more than a nom.
Yep.
So the next question I have to do in an accent. Sorry. So, why does Kraken look so much angrier this season? Who upset the precious danger swim? And no prizes for guessing that this was submitted by Agent Rara.
This version of Kraken, so I have two boys, as you see from the show, and they are fans of Pokemon. And so we like to think that Kraken evolved. Like last season was like the cute, basic Pokemon, and then this season's kind of the more evolved, dangerous Pokemon. And then next season it'll evolve into its final form, hopefully, because I don't want to spend any more money on the thing.
How did it feel to see Kraken get a smacking from Blacksmith?
I didn't like it. So, well, when we go to BattleBots, we go to win. We go to put on a great show and to try and we're going there with the intention of winning the giant nut. So a lot of people will call us a joke bot just because we have a little bit of style and a little bit of flair, but we go to compete and to win. And but at the same time, the fight with Blacksmith was probably one of my favorite fights of all time. It was a very good fight. It was very close, two evenly matched machines. It was back and forth. So it was a lot of fun to watch. So I'm not disappointed with the result at all. I'm quite happy with how it turned out.
It'd be good to get revenge on him one day.
Yes, we'll get him next time.
If Kraken fought Death Roll, how many crocs could a Kraken crack if a Kraken could crack crocs?
Ooh.
I did that first time. Yes.
At least one. But yeah, I mean, we would fight Death Roll. Great machine, great bot, but we'd fight them no problem.
Awesome. Well, I'm afraid that's the end of the questions, and also I'm afraid the end of the Shuntcast.
Awesome.
I'm so
this
sorry.
Very much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's goodbye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
It's goodbye from Captain Icky Fish.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
And it's goodbye from the Queen. Goodbye.